Brock played us, man. Brock went. Brock came. Brock played us, bro. Brock came with the idea that he always has an open door because he's such a big star.
Of course.
I was on a Brock Lesnar card at UFC 200.
That's when you fight Anderson.
I fought Anderson.
Yep.
To dance for a while.
Yeah.
It could have been Brock and I when I fought Derek Lewis in New York.
Yep.
But yeah, they paid him so much to stay. He was such a big star there.
Oh yeah.
That he could make money to go do that and do nothing with suplexes.
Yeah.
Or go fight me in an octagon.
Which is, that shit is real and unique.
It's real, and I'm gonna try to kill him.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like, yeah, he made the best choice.
Maybe one day we might get you Brock versus DC in WWE.
I mean, Brock is on the ban list right now.
Is he?
Oh, dude, Brock got into so much trouble. He tried to hold me up with shit. You know what Brock did? I ain't telling you on air what Brock did.
Okay.
Brock in so much trouble.
All right, we'll do it off air. But boys,
What's good with the YouTube world? It's Coffee on the vid. Tap it back in and you hear UFC great DC talking about the infamous Brock Lesnar push, right? And you heard him take some jabs at Brock, but you heard him bringing up something that's been kind of kept on the hush. Now, we seen Diddy, the allegations, right? And it's tied to this situation in a sense, in a way, like similarity-wise, if y'all smell me, right? Because obviously Diddy's waiting to be sentenced. He beat the RICO case, the X trafficking and all that, but, you know, still participating in prostitution or whatever. Legal analysts are like all over the place where he's gonna get hit with the federal sentencing guidelines from 5 years to 10 to some saying they're gonna max him out, or some say he's gonna walk away with probation. They didn't get the conviction they were really going for. Then yesterday we saw rapper Cash Out, which is crazy because that was a state RICO case that went all the way back like 5 years, and it was like everyone was talking about the Diddy-ish, right? But this man, Cash Out, got life plus 70, and his mom hit with 30, and the cousin the same sentence as Cash Out, right? He ain't smoking on Keisha no more. The judge, the state of Georgia, smoking on that Cash Out pack, maxing them out with crazy sentences, right? And then we got this other situation with Brock Lesnar tied to Vince McMahon that is similar allegations as Diddy. In Cash Out, in a sense, I mean, he was said to be pimping and all that, but it's all referenced as human trafficking, and in a sense, it's the same shit. Let me know what you guys think about it. But the Brock, Vince McMahon, and the Diddy stuff were very similar in the sense that if they didn't, well, scratch that. We know Diddy did pay off Cassie, right? She was suing him. She was trying to haggle with them, negotiate with them before she filed the lawsuit, and he played hardball, right? Because the lawsuit included an NDA and all that, but he played hardball negotiation-wise, and she filed the suit. The media got wind of it, and then next thing you know, many more lawsuits came out, and there was a special statute going on in the state of New York when it came to X crimes, where people could file lawsuits beyond a typical statute of limitations when it comes to civil cases and whatnot. And people took advantage of that, striking Diddy left and right to the point that we saw the feds get involved and hit him with charges. Now, Vince McMahon, he did pay off this individual, Janelle Grant, that's in this lawsuit. Right, so where Diddy did make the payment, but he waited too long to where the lawsuit filed and the media got wind about it and people started talking about it, Vince McMahon did the payoff, but someone outed him to a major publication that published the article, and they said, listen, this ain't a privately traded, this ain't a private company anymore. It's a publicly traded company, and he was forced out of power, forced his way back into power. We seen the sale, the merger with UFC, where it's TKO now, and that's what's wild to see DC comment on this, because Brock Lesnar is tied to the allegations in a wild way. Like we were just talking about negotiations Word was, as you heard him basically taking a shot at his head, Brock, like, he didn't really want that smoke with me in the octagon. He made the right choice. You know, we did the push and all that. That was Brock's idea, bringing a bit of kayfabe to the UFC, cutting this promo, making this big viral moment. But he didn't really want to fight me, and he can go to the WWE and just Suplex City his way to millions of dollars, and he made the right choice, because I would have pummeled him. Now, comment everyone and let me know what you think about Brock Lesnar's UFC career and, you know, what Cormier was saying there. But it's wild to hear him say that, because Vince McMahon, just like Diddy, the feds did end up raiding him and starting an investigation and all that. And you know, they want some retribution, because Vince McMahon, not like the heinousness of these allegations, right? But Vince McMahon went to war with the feds before and won. He's one of the few. We always hear about that high conviction rate, but Vince McMahon said, hey, back in the day with the whole steroid scandal, let's do it. Let's go to trial, and won. And here he is now. The allegations come out. Word of the payoff, you know, with the publicly traded company. He steps down, once again steps back into power, but then she files a lawsuit. And originally in the lawsuit, it was like similar to how we saw Jay-Z named in the Diddy lawsuit, right? Where originally Jay-Z's name wasn't in there. He was like celebrity A or B or whatever. And then the attorneys contacted him that was representing the individual. Like, in that whole case got debunked as bullshit and just cap, as there was so many falsities and inconsistencies to that girl's story. Straight up, it just is what it is. Like, her dad doesn't remember driving from Rochester, New York to Manhattan to pick her up after such a crazy situation like that. And then a lot of other people that were named weren't even there. Like, come on. Like, the timeline, they went back and were like, yo, this person was on tour. This person was there that night, or in this place that night. You know what I mean? Like, certified, scheduled stuff from way back that just, it was cap. She was lying, and that's just what it is, in my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think. But more or less, they were trying to see if they could get a mediation session with Jay-Z, and he said no, and they sued him, and and they amended the lawsuit and added him. And in the situation with Vince McMahon, it was like that, where there was a big star that was said to be coming back from the MMA world to WWE, and Vince, this girl who, you know, he's alleged of taking advantage of her, like recording her, all kinds of ish, passing her around the office, all kinds of wild ish, like straight up used her as a bargaining chip in negotiations with Brock Lesnar. And originally, like we said, Brock wasn't named, but was it like March or May? It's not that long ago, in 2025, the lawsuit was amended to include Brock Lesnar. And then what's crazy, in the same month that Brock Lesnar was included in the lawsuit, John Laurinaitis, an WWE employee who's named all up in this lawsuit of violating this girl Janelle Grant, he gets dismissed from the lawsuit, where Janelle Grant and her legal team said, hey, cut him up out of here, like and with prejudice, so he cannot be re-added to the lawsuit if there's new evidence or anything, which tells everyone that Laurinaitis is cutting some kind of deal, in my opinion, and going to testify against Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar. And, you know, this is a civil lawsuit, but the allegations are twisted, and Brock Lesnar is named in it directly now. And, you know, WWE's been keeping him off of TV, and, you know, it is what it is. They don't really mention it, but here you see DC flat out saying, yo, Brock's on the ban list. You know what it is. I'm not going to say it all right here, but, you know, like the way he was ducking me in the octagon, I'm not about to duck the truth. I ain't gonna come out and flat out say it, but let's not act like he's not banned. You know what Brock allegedly did, and I don't think he said allegedly. He was saying it like it was facts. It's crazy. And Vince McMahon, being the tycoon that he is, and he just started some new business ventures and all this. We're not really sure what that will materialize and be. Everyone took notice that he created new LLCs and stuff like that. But he's been, taking the legal department, the lawyers that he has to stall this lawsuit out and keeping it out of the media, more or less. It's been very, very hush-hush on the news front. But best believe this lawsuit's going down, and it's looking like it's going to go to a trial. And now with someone who is named, once again, all up in the mix, participating with Vince McMahon, dismissed from the lawsuit. Brock's added. First Brock's added, then Laurinaitis is dismissed. I mean, 2 and 2 makes 4. 1 plus 1 makes 2. He's got to be testifying or something like that. And it's crazy, this quite possibly could be the end of Brock Lesnar in the UFC and WWE. I mean, they were saying too, I think that they believe Brock's too old for a UFC comeback anyways, but DC not pulling no punches, man, saying Brock's banned, and y'all know what it is. As you see the official reports, right? WWE superstar, this is very recent, just months back. WWE superstar and former UFC champion Brock Lesnar was officially ID'd in an amended federal lawsuit filed by former WWE employee Janelle Grant. Again, Vince McMahon was said to have lived. This girl had one of her parents had passed away or something, I believe, and she had an apartment or condo in the building that he did, and he took her under the wing and said, "Let me give you this good paying job," and she says violated her more or less, and then paid her off, fired her, paid her off with publicly traded company money. And it's crazy, man. But seriously, there's all kinds of twisted lawsuits or allegations in this, right? Who originally filed the lawsuit in January 2024, accusing WWE co-founder Vince McMahon, the WWE, and former company executive John Laurinaitis, which again, I just mentioned, has been cut out of the lawsuit with prejudice, so he cannot be added back. And he's got to be testifying, man. And listen, there's said to be texts in this that are evidence that mention Brock Lesnar as the next playmate, so it's looking all bad in that she was to make personalized corn videos for Brock Lesnar, that while they were talking money of what it would take for him to come back to the WWE, he coerced her to do this for Brock. I need you to, he was just passing her around to executives and WWE talent. It's crazy, man. Allegedly, again, keyword allegedly. Sex trafficking, physical and emotional abuse, sexual assault, and negligence. The amendment filed January 31st alleges McMahon used Grant as an actual pawn to entice world-famous wrestling talent and to keep Brock Lesnar under contract with WWE. Lesnar's name was not included in the original lawsuit, and the 47-year-old is not listed as a defendant in the amended lawsuit. According to Grant, McMahon directed her to create personalized corn content for Lesnar and WWE Hall of Fame and longtime producer Michael Hayes. Damn, I didn't even realize Michael Hayes was named in this lawsuit. This is all bad, and I think there was a misprint. It says that he is named. Obviously, it's a amended lawsuit. I think that's a misprint there, but Michael Hayes' name in there. The amended lawsuit also includes, like I said, screenshots of texts appearing to be from McMahon requesting specific pornographic content from Grant. According to the filing, McMahon told Grant that Lesnar would be their next playmate. And it says, just goes on to say, it reveals new details that further demonstrate the actual abuse she suffered at the hands of Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, again, who all things point to is going to be the star witness that this thing goes to trial. Like, again, McMahon is stalling out, doing all these legal tactics, but I think trial is going to be the end result. Tap in, everyone. Let me know what you think. Like, this is what I'm saying. DC being UFC great, speaking out and saying this, you notice, right? The media, like, yes, these reports come out, but people don't talk about this a lot. But he wasn't walking on eggshells or nothing. Again, he didn't go in like crazy, but those few words, he said a lot. He said, you know what it is with Brock. You know why he's banned. And pulls back the curtain on the dangerous workplace culture McMahon created at WWE. So, I don't know, man. Brock Lesnar, it's pretty much a wrap for him in a sense. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously these are all allegations, but with this case being stalled out, like, Brock's in purgatory more or less. People don't want to touch him. People don't want to do business with him. Sponsors, WWE, UFC, TKO, the company as a whole. Like, Brock is cancerous in the same way that Vince McMahon is, that he had to originally step out the picture back when it just got exposed about the payoff money. Now, once again, he did do this power play and get back in to the head of the company, but then the lawsuit came out. Like, I truly wonder if Vinnie Mac just fell into the cut and didn't do that if this lawsuit would have came. What do you guys think? Was she going to file regardless, or do you think that pissed Janelle Grant off? Like, oh, you think that this is just going to get exposed and you're going to go away for a little bit and come right back? Nah, I'm going to try to take you to the cleaners. Or do you think that the lawsuit leaking this information, about her being paid off with that privately company, or I'm sorry, no longer a private company, publicly traded companies, money, right? People own shares, and he's paying off chicks that he, allegedly actually assaulted and, actually used her as a bargaining chip with actual favors in corn content. And there's even allegations in this that he defecated on her face, y'all. No cap. That's in the lawsuit. Like, this lawsuit, obviously, with a lot of these legal cases, pages and pages long when things get broke down content wise and brought to the internet. Content creators don't always dive all the way into them. We just see little pieces pulled out, but that was in there, y'all. Like, this is pretty crazy. So DC, not afraid to say, Brock's banned, man. You ain't gonna see Brock. He ducked me. He knew it was better to go to the WWE, keep to the Suplex City money. But he's washed, he's banned, and I don't know, like, how long will this case, again, that's what I'm saying, think about it. As long as the case is going on, no one's gonna want to mess with him. They want to see him try and clear his name. And if the things go awry and they lose, he's done off, right? And he's 47 years old. He's not getting any younger. Like, I don't know. This is pretty wild to hear Cormier speak about this. No one really mentions this like that. Like, Vince McMahon, yes, he's looked at as a disgraced celeb by many, or disgraced businessman by many. Let me know if you feel that way, and let me know how you feel about the allegations. But a lot of people kind of fall back from speaking about him as the case is still ongoing, but DC wasn't about to do it. And again, don't forget Laurinaitis being removed from the lawsuit. I mean, that just speaks volumes. So jump in the comments, let me know what you think about everything we covered on here, Brock's career, all that. Like, let's discuss it all. If you're new, subscribe to the channel It's Jay Coffee Talk. We talk music, sports, news, and much more over here. But it's always about hearing the people's thoughts and opinions, right? I don't claim to be no big expert. I'm the guy that wants to have that conversation, that coffee talk with everyone out there in the blogosphere. So tap in, let's talk. Wild situation, DC, going where many are afraid to go.